Okay, good morning. Welcome to Shiva YouTube Daily Double. Today we're starting a new parak of Maseches Eiruvin, the third parak of Maseches Eiruvin. Mishnah Aleph says, "B'chol ma'arvin mishtatfin chutzpin amayim and amelach." You can make an eruv. Now, an eruv, there's two types of eruvs: eruv chatzeros, eruv tchumen. Eruv chatzeros is not the subject over here. Eruv chatzeros is to join people's yards together. If you're, similar backyards, you want to carry from one backyard to another backyard, you have to join together. That dafka has to be with bread, according to Rav Yortanor. Some halachos Rishonim, but most Rishonim understand B'chol ma'arvin means eruv tchumen. Eruv tchumen is a totally different type of eruv, where you put something at the end of 2,000 amos out of the city boundary in order to allow you, it's like your shvisa, like you're staying there, in order to allow you to travel another 2,000 amos, right? Because you can't travel from city limits. It doesn't really apply to us. We really live in cities. It's hard to get out of the boundary of the cities. But they used to have isolated communities where you have to make an area tchumen. So area tchumen could be from anything, any food. Mishtatfin is a mavoi to join together in a street, a common street. You want to carry from your house to the street. You can use anything. Chutzpin amayim and melach. The only two things you can't use is water and salt. The Gemara says also mushrooms and truffles. Similarly, when you bring meiser shein in Yerushalayim and you want to buy food in Yerushalayim for your vacation over there, you can buy anything you enjoy. Chutzpin amayim and melach, except from water and salt, because these things are basically not considered ochel. I know it's considered food. I know they're been on mazon. You take another from things which are, food. Mutar mayim and melach. You're allowed to drink water and consume salt, because these are not considered food. Ma'arvin l'nazir b'yayin l'yishal b'truma. You can make an eruv tchumen for a nazir, even though he can't drink wine. Doing Maseches Naziros, nazir b'yayin, because he can't drink it, but other people can't. L'yishal b'truma, Yisrael could make an eruv tchumen out of truma, because even though he can't, it is fit for some people. Like give it to a kohen. Sukkos somewhere b'chulin. Sukkos argues. He says it has to be roy for you, and therefore you have to use chul and you can't use truma. However, by a Nazir, Sumkos agrees that it's okay, because if a Nazir could always be matir his Naziros and drink the wine. Well, Kohen, the Beis HaPras, a Kohen could put an eruv tchumen in a Beis HaPras. Beis HaPras is basically a field where you had someone buried, they took a plow and they plowed over his burial, his coffin, right, which disperses a lot of bones all over the field. So they're small bones. If the bone is smaller, then a bone has to be at least the size of a barley seed. If it's less than a barley seed, it's not metame, but it might be a barley seed. You don't know where it is, so there's a heter to go in that field, midrabanan, and just blow or watch very carefully where he walks. Therefore, it's possible for a kohen to go into such a field. They can place eruv tchumen there. You know, I feel based on cars. He says even in a cemetery you could do it, because technically you can go in on an airplane to a cemetery or a private jet. Right, it's a Rebuta holds that oel zarok, an oel that's moving, is considered an oel. It protects you from the tumah. You can go in there on your private jet and go to a space where there's no dead person and eat your eruv. You have to be able to eat your eruv tchumen on Shabbos. That's what Rebuta says. Not going to discuss the sheet of the Rabbanan. The Rabbanan happened to argue and say in basic faros you can never do it because it's usher to benefit from a cemetery. The base ba'arvim midmai. You're allowed to make an eruv tchumen again from demai. You have to be able to eat it on Shabbos, the eruv tchumen. So you use demai. Demai is a suffix whether the amar took out trumas demai. So it's only midrabanan, midoraisa, rov amei aretz masrim. It's a chumer derabanan, so therefore they relaxed it for eruv tchumen. Ma'aser rishon shnelet trumasa. Ma'aser rishon that you gave to Levi, that trumas ma'aser was taken off. If it's mutter eat, of course you use it. Ma'aser sheni hekdesh sheniftu. Ma'aser sheni or hekdesh, right? Even though those things can't be outside Yerushalayim, the Beis Hamikdash, if you're poted them, if you redeem them, then they could. But Kohanim can use chalak because they're allowed to eat it. Have a little bit tevel. Tevel you can't use because tevel is an isser to eat. You have to be able to eat your eruv tchumen on Shabbos. A little ma'aser rishon, also ma'aser rishon that didn't take up Shuas ma'aser, because even a Levi can't eat that until they take a Shuas ma'aser. It's going to tevel. Again, if you have ma'aser shein or hekdesh that weren't redeemed, right, you have to eat it in Yerushalayim. You can't eat it here, wherever you are. You have to eat Yerushalayim with the Beis Hamikdash. Shaleach eruv b'yad cheres shotav akatan or b'yad mi she'eino modeh be'eruv. You don't want to go to the edge of your city or 2,000 amos from your city. You send a child or cheres shotav akatan or someone who's a mute or a deaf, or b'yad mi she'eino modeh be'eruv, or someone who doesn't keep halachically, the secular Jew. Eino eruv. It's not an eruv. If he appoints someone else to take the eruv from this katan, and the other person then deposits it over there. As long as he sees him, the shliach, giving it to this person, so then it's okay. We can rely on it. I don't know if it has to be that he actually sees the person giving it to it. I'll talk about this more. What's the reason that you can't send your arrow with a chayyur shod of a katan? Ian Mitzion coming up next.